Lana should be here shortly.
Uh, Thank you so much for doing this. This was an amazing adventure, and I truly enjoyed every single moment about it. It felt like it was fresh, it felt original. What was it about this whole project that drew you to it?
Well, for me, one of the big draws was the director, the
Mhm.
writer, James Mark. He's a fabulous collaborator, and I enjoy working with him. But as far as the story goes, what really drew me to this was that it was sci-fi. It
Right.
had the X-Men feel and that thing, but at the same time, it didn't feel like another world. It didn't feel like, when you watch an X-Men film or a Marvel film, it's like, okay, they're playing Earth, but this will never happen. This
Mhm.
can't happen. But with Enhanced, it didn't feel that way. It felt like really like this was a real story. Like this could be the girl next door.
Right.
And that's what really drew me to it, is that there was a familiarity to it. It didn't seem like out of our universe. It felt very much like outside the door.
Right. So, was there any kind of inspirations that originally drew you, that inspired you to the character that you can draw from, even though it's all superhero?
Absolutely. The character for me was very interesting because he's a guy who does his job, and he does his job well. And the better he does his job, the better he sees himself as a person.
Mhm.
But then things start to change because he realizes the people he works for and the job he does they're not necessarily the best people, or the get the best job. And so
Right.
we start to see this shift, and it's not that he changes as a person, it's just his priorities change. He's still a good guy trying to do the right thing and do a good job, but now he realizes that the people he works for are no good, and
Mhm.
saving this girl might be the better option on a spiritual level. And so maintaining that sort of man on a mission, but getting the mission shifting from one thing to the other is really what I thought was interesting about this character, is like, because we get to see what's solid about him, but we also get to see that journey in him where he goes from a bad guy to a good guy.
Right. So, speaking of the journey aspect, what would you say when you're reading the script, the overall arc? Are you looking for that shift in character to get that full, you know what I mean? That full development of the character? Is it the situation that kind of draws you in? What is it that initially sparks that character creation for you?
It's definitely the beats and the script. As you work through the script and you work through the moments, things happen. And
Mhm.
it's those beats are the markers that sort of are the causes of the shifts, as it were, in the tectonic plates of character, where
Right.
and there are moments in the script where we see him thinking, where we see the guy going, wait a second, this girl's not that bad, this girl's not that scary, this girl's not a killer, what's going on here? And it's
Mhm.
really, the more we get to know her character, the more my character starts to wake up and see
Right.
things. So really, he's kind of blind in the beginning. He's just
Right.
doing his job, and the more he gets to see her, the more his world opens up, and he starts thinking for himself. It's almost like she's the catalyst for him developing his own mind and not just following orders.
Right. Now, this is also an action adventure sci-fi that's going on. Talk about a little bit of the special effects. What was that like filming?
The special effects, well, it's always strange to imagine, like, okay, this is happening and that's
Mhm.
happening, but nothing's really happening. So
Right.
you really have to sort of believe and give yourself over, and trust that what they're going to do is going to work. And when you watch the movie, you see that it does. The
Mhm.
special effects really do add a lot to the movie. And I like stuff with special effects, especially coming from a stunt background myself. Special effects sort of lighten the load, and they speed things up now, and
Right.
and 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 they make things interesting. And I thought that the quality of the visual effects in the final piece were really, really good, and they felt organic, felt real. Again, it felt grounded on this earth. It didn't feel too spectacular.
Right.
You know, it just felt just right. Yeah.
So because you're kind of grounded in the stunt world, when you're looking at the script, are you able to visualize things in your head right away, or do you wait until the storyboard is all out?
You know, with this particular group of guys, with James Mark and Chris Mark, his brother, who is also a fantastic actor and plays the villain in the film, plays David. When it comes to action, when I'm reading the script, it's like, oh, and action, James and Chris. And I just keep reading because I know that these guys are going to bring more than what's needed to the table. When it comes to action, these guys are very meticulous, very creative, very prepared, down to the shots, the angles, the moves. And so when it's time to do the fight, you know, it's not as intimidating as you might think. You could look at James and Chris and say, where do you want me to stand? Which moves do you want me to do? And the process is easy. And then when you watch the fight, the blend of their camera work and everything, it really comes alive, and at a minimal sort of energy level where you don't feel like you're fighting, you know, you just do a few moves at a time and they're like, perfect, we got it, and you're like, what? and it really comes together. So I like shooting fights and action with this team, especially because there's no extra. We just do what's needed, and you're never working yourself to the bone. And at the end, the action looks twice as good as it would have somewhere else where they would work you to death.
Right.
You know?
So lastly, when it comes to enhance, what would you say during the entire filming process, or even during the character study, what was the greatest lesson you've taken away as an actor?
The greatest lesson I took away from Enhance is definitely that when you love something and you care about it, you don't get tired, you don't get hungry, you don't get cold, and you keep going. Everyone on that film was there out of passion. They're trying to do something more than what we had set out to do. You know, we had a big movie and a small budget, but we didn't want the small budget to matter. We still wanted the movie to look and feel big. And so that support and the cohesion made things really easy. And if anything, what it taught me that like filmmaking can, should, and always be fun and easy. You know,
Right.
the horror stories, they just don't need to, we don't need those anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true. Thank
Mhm.
you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right.
Appreciate it, George.